We'll just start. Let me just make sure we ready. What time is it? At 1 minute.
Are you announcing new business that about the special meeting for the levy? Draft is provided. Do final approval with me
Okay.
on Thursday.
Levy. A special meeting. What's Thursday's date?
The 18th.
What time is it? Special meeting Thursday. Why didn't you make it earlier? 6 p.m.
I think it's 7.
Why didn't you make it earlier? Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us both in person and via YouTube. Welcome to the Village of Glenwood Regular Board of Trustee meeting on Tuesday, December the 16th, 2025. We're calling this meeting to order at 7 p.m. Can you stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance? Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Trustee Brown,
Yes, I'm here.
Trustee Roll, Trustee Williams, Trustee Mosley,
Here.
Trustee Taylor, Trustee Hadnot.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum. This section is for public comment. I'm sorry. I'm asking for a motion for the approval of the regular board meeting minutes of December 2nd.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any questions? Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Roll, Trustee Williams, Trustee Mosley,
Yes.
Trustee Taylor, Trustee Hadnot,
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion passed. This section of public comments is limited to what's on the agenda only. And let me apologize in advance that I have our voice is hoarse, so I'm getting over a head cold, so I do apologize. Open for public comments for limited to agenda items only. Good evening.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Sure.
Good evening, Mayor, trustees, and residents. I first like to thank you, Mayor, for your leadership and services that you're working with Glenwood community. No, it has not been easy. We have a long way to go, but be encouraged. We are here to support you and help you. My second comment, Trustee Taylor and your committee, I'd like to commend you on a wonderful job with the tree lighting ceremony. It was wonderful. I can remember some years ago when there was only 4 people at the ceremony, the lighting. President, the village administrator, Trustee Hadnot, and myself. So it meant a lot to be able to see that the community is being more involved and coming out to the activities and what we have. So again, thank you for a great year, and it'll be better next year. Okay, my third and final. I would like, well, the residents, we really want to begin or continue, I should say, moving forward. But we can't as long as we keep reaching back. We can't change the past, and we just need to go forward. And some of these examples, I just got two, is when it was brought up and the question was asked to you about the Glenwood signs and how much did they cost and will we be purchasing any more? That was done under the last administration. So if they have concerns, then either go back to their notes or just accept it because it was approved under the last administration. And we just don't want to continue to hear that. We want to move and go forward. Another one, the last administration.
Ms. Patton,
Mhm.
can you save that for the second half of public comment section or agenda items only?
Okay,
Oh, I do appreciate
okay,
that.
then I'll save that one. Okay.
Thank you. Any other public comments for agenda items only?
Deborah Birmingham. Just a quick question to the mayor. This information on here for the South Suburban Managers Association, are you hoping to have our roads resurface some of the things that we needed to have done for some time? I'm looking at the resurfacing of Glenwood, Chicago Heights Road and Main Street.
That's not this agenda. That's last meeting agenda. That's not on the,
Oh, it's on here. Yeah, I'm just trying to get clarification because my comment, if you guys are doing that, I think this is a good idea. I'm
we
sorry.
revised the agenda. Go ahead.
We're looking at
Repeat.
an agenda. Okay. I just
I'm
wanted
looking at 'em.
clarification. Are
Go
you
ahead.
hoping to get the streets repaved under this agreement with the South Suburban Mayor's Agreement?
That once that we get to that section, we'll have conversation and hopefully it will give you an answer.
Okay,
That
so that's the goal, is to hopefully
Yes.
have some resurfacing done?
Correct.
Thank you. So much needed resurfacing
Mhm.
done. Thank you.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Melinda Plot, 423 West Arquilla. So yesterday I was looking at the bills payable, the 845,000, that's for the Arquilla Park. Is that right?
No,
It's a
that
600
also,
Uh,
right.
Yeah, it's out of the water fund, but it was 600 and some $1,000 for the levy. Is that coming out of the water fund?
Yes,
Okay, was that the intent? To come out of the water fund?
yes. That when we get to the bills payable, Jansen can provide clarity. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Tony, 423 Arquilla. For Main Street, are we trying to do anything to control the trucks? Are we going to maybe do some taxing on the trucks?
Can we save that to the second part of the agenda
Okay.
of public comments? It's for agenda items only. Thank you. Any other public comments for agenda item only? Bills payable, Jansen. And can you also clarify the 673 for the levy, the Aquila Park levy?
Will do. Thank you, Mayor. And for bills payable for December 12th, 2025, corporate fund was $213,952.89. Motor fuel tax, $332,461.83. Water account, $845,607.50. Foreign fire, $216 even. The bond payment fund, $100. TIF Industrial Park, $183,500. Glenwood Golf Course, $53,965.52 for a total all funds of $1,629,803.74. Regarding the $845,000 water account, $678,893 was a payout, which is a result of the final bill that we did receive from Pan Ocean regarding the levee project. This was charged to the Sewer and Water Fund as it has something to do with the sewer systems. In addition, this was one that it was mostly funded by a grant. We still have not gotten the final grant payout from the county because we need to have finalized the project, and this helps us finalize that project. There will be at some point where we still have to pay out to Pan Oceanic roughly 92,000. That is a retainage amount that we hold back. I believe we'll be paying that once we get refunded from the county for the grant part of it.
So Ms. Plott, so basically that's 600 because it was in a floodplain and related to flooding and water is why it was charged to the water and sewer account. You're welcome. I'm asking for a motion for bills payable December the 12th, 2025, in a total of all funds of $1,629,803.74.
I'll second.
Any questions?
I have a question. Excuse me. Dave, do you mind going over the 308,597 and 57 resurfacing and just tell me how that works again with the grant or whatever is
Yes,
supposed to
no
cover some of that?
That was for maple and tulip in the forest. The county does a CDBG grant every year. Villages typically get them every other year. So because the money is tight at the county. So we used to get it every year. Now we get it every other year. So this was the 24 grant, which gets constructed in 25. What I usually recommend municipalities to do is supplement the CDBG with your MFT money, because if you just do the CDBG and the bids come in low or the quantities come in under, you're leaving some of that money on the table. So we combined this with MFT. So you have a 200,000 CDBG grant. The bid was 327,000. We did come in a little bit under at the 308,957 you see on the check, and you'll be getting 200,000 back from the county for your grant, but they won't pay that until you give them the canceled check proving that you've paid the contractor.
Any other questions?
Yes, Your Honor, I have a couple questions for Brian. How much will the county reimburse us, and when can we expect the payment?
You're talking about the Arquilla Park project? I don't have the exact number. It's roughly 1.2-ish. It's under that, but it's close to that as far as what's still outstanding. As far as when they get us paid, my guess is in January at some point, we're going to get that payment.
Okay, great. And I have a question for Dave on the Pan Oceanic. I know they were late on a couple parts of this project, Dave. And was there any penalties for them being late? Was there any, I remember discussing the road being done late.
There is liquidated damages
Okay.
in the contract, but the weather days that are determined by IDOT, so everyone's on the same page with weather days.
Right.
There were a lot of weather days in October and November of 24. So
Right.
there were no liquidated damage
There was none.
is charged.
Interesting. Thank you.
Any other questions? Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Williams.
Aye.
Trustee Mosley.
Yes.
Trustee Taylor. Trustee Hadnot.
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Trustee Rowe.
Thank you. Motion approved. Jansen, payroll.
So the payroll, December 12th, 2025, we had administrative payroll for $17,038.12. Public Works, $16,577.85. Police Department, 103,588.71. Fire Department, 18,572.73. Senior Center, 259.50. Elected positions, $1,071.31. Sewer and water, $30,787.45. Glenwood Golf Course, $12,369.16 for a total payroll of $200,264.83, of which we had reimbursables of $354.16, which brings the grand total payroll down to $199,910.67.
Thank you. I'm asking for a motion for approval of payroll for December the 12th, 2025, in the total amount of $199,910.67.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
There being no questions, and also the employees overtime board report was sent to the board for this payroll period. Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Mosley,
Yes.
Trustee Taylor, Trustee Hadnot,
Yes.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Rowe, Trustee Williams.
Thank you. Motion passed. Communications from the mayor's office. First, everyone should have received the revised agenda due to our oversight that didn't include the initial levy and resolutions that were sent to the board electronically. I also want to thank everyone who made the first community-hosted HOA's joint community Christmas party a success. I also want to bring to the residents' attention that the recent fire that resulted in the loss of a life is a tragic event, and our thoughts and prayers are with the family and ones during this difficult time. This incident remains under active investigation. Therefore, no specific questions will be addressed, and to ensure the integrity of the investigation is preserved. The administration and I, in cooperation and coordination with the Red Cross, has been in contact with the family to identify needs to provide appropriate referral and resources as needed. The fire department will send out safety information reminder to all residents during this winter season. Also, I would like to inform the public that there will be no chats with the mayor for the month of December, but look out for new dates for 2026 for even more free educational workshops and resources to be shared. I also would like to say, as we come together during this holiday season, that we wish everyone in our community a joyful, peaceful holiday. Thank you for your continued support, kindness, and commitment to one another throughout this year. On behalf of myself and the board, we extend our warmest wishes and happiness and prosperity in the years ahead. That's the mayor's communication. Attorney report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First on the attorney report is a motion to approve Resolution 25-18, resolution outlining an agreement with South Suburban Mayors and Managers Association and the Village of Glenwood programming funds for the resurfacing of Glenwood Chicago Heights Road. For this, I would defer to the village engineer for further information.
Dave.
Thank you, Ross. Every couple of years, South Suburban Mayors and Managers issues a call for projects. So the way that your federal transportation money works is it's appropriated by Congress, and then CMAP and organizations like it throughout the country are responsible for distributing it to the local. So by the time it comes to Washington, to CMAP in Chicago, to South Suburban Mayors and Managers, these are your federal transportation funds. Every 2 years, you get a call for projects. In general, throughout the country, federal transportation money is 80-20. So the feds pay 80%, the locals pay 20%. Due to the economic conditions in the south suburbs, most south suburbs are eligible for this extra 20% to be also paid with federal funds. So for both of these, what you're actually resolving to do is to request that extra 20% of federal funds for these projects. So we submitted these projects for consideration. They're not guaranteed to be funded, just like everybody else. So South Suburban Mayors and Managers has a fixed pot of money, but it does go into like a 5-year plan. And even if your project doesn't fit into their 5-year plan, there's a contingency plan for the next 5 years. So we submitted as aggressive as we could be. Village has to do the engineering. So we submitted Main Street for construction in 2029 and Chicago Heights Road for construction in 2031. And then on the back page of these resolutions is the estimated construction amount. So Chicago Heights Road, we're looking for about $950,000. And for Main Street, that would be from Glenwood Oaks. This would be the whole village section. So from Glenwood Oaks to Glenwood Dyer. So across the tracks, across State Street, all of Glenwood's portion of it. And that is $1,650,000.
I'm asking for a motion to approve Resolution 25019. He didn't, I thought he just did 19 first.
I'll make that motion.
I'm sorry, for clarification, Dave, was that resolution number 19 or 18 first? I have 19 on my agenda.
Correct. 19 is first
Okay.
on the agenda.
That's-
This is the format that South Suburban gave us.
Okay,
They're the same other than the street name and the amount.
okay, thank you. The motion, you second. Any questions?
I only have one question. You said that we're going to do Chicago Heights Road in 2029?
No, 2031.
2031. Have you driven down that road lately?
Yeah, I think Main Street needs it more.
Do you?
Well, they're both pretty bad. I mean, and we're not guaranteed to get these dates. It depends how it falls into South Suburban's plan. I mean, this resolution does not set a date. I mean, we could
Okay.
request a different, yeah.
Yeah, definitely need some attention very soon. Okay, thank you, Dave.
Any other questions? Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Taylor.
Struggling up here.
Call the roll. Trustee Taylor. Trustee Hadnot.
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Trustee Roll. Trustee Williams. Trustee Mosley.
Yes.
Next, we have on the agenda, the motions approved. This is Resolution 2518, a resolution outlining an agreement with South Suburban Mayors and Managers Association and the Village of Glenwood, programming funds for the resurfacing of Main Street. And I would defer to the village engineer for any questions.
Same explanation as Chicago Heights Road, up to different dollar amount and earlier vested schedule.
I'm asking for a motion to approve Resolution 2518.
I'll second.
Any questions?
I have a question. Did you say that second dollar amount was 1,650,000?
That's the
Yes.
total amount.
Main Street, 1,650,000.
Okay.
And that includes design engineering, construction engineering for.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Hadnot.
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Trustee Roll. Trustee Williams. Trustee Taylor. Trustee Mosley.
Yes.
Just to note, the board will be having the levy, the proposed levy ordinance was provided to the board and publicly available for any comments. And then the board, I believe, will have a special meeting on Thursday to make final approval of this year's levy ordinance for property tax. Other than that, questions from the board, that would conclude my report.
What time is the meeting?
7 p.m.
Make sure.
Are there any questions? Village Administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of quick items to report before we get into explanations on other matters I report. The first is an update on the new website. I know everybody's had some time to look at it now. Everybody has submitted, have received several requests to update some areas that have typos, change some of the stock photos that the web designer used to reflect the village's diversity, things like that. And so we are working through that right now. That process is ongoing. As I said before, the big lift was to get the shell of it done, get the design changed, and get the ADA accessibility stuff done before 2026. And now we're kind of tweaking some of those other things. So please continue to send suggestions, thoughts my way. We work through editing it and going through those things. But that's an update there on the website. The other thing that I wanted to update the board on is if the board remembers, sometime during the summer, it was in July, the village was awarded a grant, production of a 3D sign, 3D welcome sign. Back then, when we were with the grant, there were several examples issued in your board packet at the time. I got an update on that. We should be receiving delivery of our 3D sign shortly after the holidays. So shortly after the first of the year, assuming that the snow melts and no more snow falls between, we'll get the sign plate. I believe Mayor, we've just 187th and Halsted, that corner there by the big tree is where we're going to put the sign first. But the nice thing about these signs is they're lightweight. Public Works move them. So, for example, if we have a special event here at Village Hall or at Glenwood, we can move the sign there to showcase it as. But that will be coming shortly after the first of the year. Just wanted to address really quick. I think it was Mr. Plott that mentioned during public comment about Main Street and the trucks. As reported, I think a couple months ago, we've had conversations with IDOT. Conversations are ongoing. Essentially, my question to IDOT was, can the village impose a weight limit or a truck restriction on our portion of Main Street? Basically, what the engineer just mentioned from Glenwood Dyer Road. And the answer from IDOT was essentially no. And the reason is because coming out of Thornton is a federal truck route. And then when you get to that section from 394 to the school over here is also a federal truck route. And so if you have a truck leaving Thornton and passing through, there's no viable place for them to turn around if they get to our portion of the street where we have a restriction. And that kind of puts us at odds with some of the federal restrictions. And so while the village does have authority to implement certain traffic restrictions, IDOT is not likely to approve those if they put them in place because of that. Those conversations are still continuing. I've expressed very wholeheartedly our desire to do something to limit the truck traffic, especially right through the center of town. But that's an ongoing process. So I just want to kind of let you know that the conversations are happening. Nothing is going to happen imminently or quickly, but we're working through it and trying to figure out a solution. The various department heads will have reports during their meeting tonight, so I'm not going to update on anything for other departments. And before I get to the insurance renewals, I would just like to wish everybody, the board, the mayor, my colleagues, the residents, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year's from my family to yours. I look forward to continued momentum and success as we head into 2026. So that, and then as we move into the two items under my report, the first is the approval of our renewal for our employee benefits insurance. And so for context and for the board's edification, we met with our broker last week. They went to market for our health insurance, our employee benefits insurance renewal. And overall, most health insurance companies are getting out of the public sector space. The pools are too small. The liability and the risk to the insurance company is too large. And so essentially what has been happening across the board over the last 5 or 10 years is you have Blue Cross Blue Shield and United Healthcare are generally the two insurance companies that will provide quotes to public entities for health insurance. We've had Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance for our employees. The Blue Cross Blue Shield quote came in. Their initial renewal quote was an increase of 20% across the board. Our brokers negotiated with the insurance company. On the medical side, they got it down to 11% increase with no increases, 0% increases in our dental, our supplemental life, our supplemental dependent life, and our vision program. United Healthcare's quote came in, and for a number of reasons, it just wasn't a viable quote for us to accept. First is due to certain things within our collective bargaining agreements with the various labor unions here in the village were required to provide a certain level of coverage. United Healthcare couldn't meet that standard. And additional, United Healthcare does not, most of their in-network doctors and hospitals are in Illinois only. They don't have Indiana hospital networks or doctors covered under their in-network plan. And a large population of our village employees live in Indiana or seek healthcare in Indiana. So for those reasons, United Healthcare was kind of ruled out at that point, leaving us with the Blue Cross Blue Shield renewal, which is where our brokers went back and negotiated a significantly lower renewal. For context, I've talked to some of my colleagues in other communities, and they're seeing 25 and 30% increases in their health insurance this year. Health insurance costs are rising across the board. As anybody that watches the Sunday night knows, Congress has been trying to act to do something. The cost or the large increase in prescriptions of the GLP-1 drugs for the various reasons they're being prescribed is causing a large increase in health insurance across the board. So I think that where we're at here with this Blue Cross, it's significantly lower than I actually anticipated it being, and I think it's a good move. It does not change any of the benefits for our employees, with the exception of a couple small things that Blue Cross mandated. Those were not changes that we made. So overall, the village is not changing any of the coverages for our employees. So I would ask that under item number 2, we have the approval of our renewal on our employee benefits insurance. And then similarly on item number 3, which is all of our other coverages. So our property, our casualty, excess liability, general liability, workers' comp, cyber liability. The initial from the market right now on these plans, I'm hearing municipalities that are getting 40 and 50% increases in their general liability, their property, their casualty. Our brokers negotiated a 4.4% increase for us this year. As a part of that, I just want to highlight the coverages themselves increased exponentially because as we went through the renewal process, the information that Travelers, which is our excess and general liability carrier, had was not accurate. They did not have an accurate vehicle list for the village. They didn't have an accurate employee count. And so we brought that into today and into accuracy, but it represented between a 15 and 40% change depending on which categories you look at as far as numbers go. So to have only a 4.4% increase there is, in my mind, a grand slam home run. It's amazing that they were able to negotiate that for us. So with that being said, I would also ask the board to entertain an approval of all of those other various policies as listed on the agenda. If you have any questions about either of those, I can answer them, or I believe Malone, our HR generalist, is here as well. Any questions?
You forgot to add, so didn't have the golf course in
Oh,
there.
yeah, that was the other thing.
We didn't have the.
Travelers Insurance Company did not realize that the village owned a golf course, which comes with its own alcohol liability policy, comes with all of the things over there. So in adjusting what they knew we had. Our policy should have gone up significantly. So a
Right.
4.4% increase to add all of the things, just to add the things they didn't know we had, I think is a big win for the village. So
Right. I'm asking for approval of renewal of our employee and benefit insurance. I'm asking for a motion for approval of the renewal of our employee benefit.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay.
Just a
Second. Any questions?
Sorry, I would just like to add one other thing. Assuming the board approves this renewal, open enrollment for the employee benefit insurance will start tomorrow.
Okay. The open enrollment period is from the 17th through the 28th. Trustee Brown, you had a question? Trustee Brown?
Just a quick, just observation. When we get a copy like this, can whomever copies it, and you notice that a couple of the pages, like the numbers are, we can't read them, they're run off. Like it's not complete, I mean, you know, just for the record.
We'll make sure that it's
Yeah,
correct.
it's just
There's
not,
no
you know what I mean?
stuff.
It's not complete, especially on the IMAD part. We can't read any of the numbers. It's up to, we don't know what that means. Like, you know,
We'll just make sure that the copying, that you get a better quality. All apologies. Any other questions? Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Williams. Trustee Hadnot.
Yes.
Trustee Mosley.
yes.
Trustee Taylor.
Yes.
Trustee Rowe. Trustee Brown.
Yes.
I'm asking for a motion for approval of the renewal of our general liability and excess liability workers' comp insurance.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Questions?
I have one quick question for JR. What would have happened if, with the misinformation from the past, that we had a claim on something that was not reported to the insurance?
We're not gonna speculate. I think trustee Hadnot has the answer. Any other questions? With no other questions, did I,
Okay.
can you call the roll?
Okay. Trustee Rowe. Trustee Mosley.
Yes.
Trustee Taylor.
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Trustee Hadnot.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Thank you, motion passed. Any trustee reports?
Yes, Your Honor. I have one quick request from the public and from the board members and employees. Please take the survey. And the more surveys that are taken, the better input that we have. And this whole ordinance for ethics is data-driven. So the better the data, the better the ordinance.
Any other trustee reports?
I have one. Tomorrow night at 6:30, the Forest has our meeting tomorrow. The Glenwood Forest Residents Association is tomorrow at 6:30 at the Forest Field House. We're asking for any donations for the Collier family. That the fire was on 10 North Pine. You can drop them off there and I can get them to them if, well, he's still in the hospital. If someone from the family is not able to get them, I'll get them to them. Also, I'm asking for, next year, I'll start it again. I'm asking for participation for the advisory committee. That is one committee that has not been fully activated, I'd say, for lack of participation. If you want more information about the advisory committee, because I think it's going to be an excellent committee, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other trustee reports?
I just have a comment. I'd like to commend and thank our fire department, our police department, and all of our first responders for all of your dedication and work that you did over this past 3 days. I know that it is not only physically challenging, but emotionally as well. And I want to say thank you. We appreciate you, and we stand behind you.
Thank you, Trustee Taylor. Any other trustee reports? Departmental reports. For the record, the department heads have submitted all of their reports to the board, but if there's any public departmental reports.
Yes, I have a couple quick reports. I hope everyone's enjoying this lovely weather we've been having lately. Good evening, everyone. As you all know, we have had record-breaking snowfall in the past 3 to 4 weeks, and we have been receiving some phone calls and complaints about snow being pushed back into driveways. Unfortunately, this is an unavoidable inconvenience. The streets are being plowed. The snow plows will clear the roads by pushing snow from the center of the street to the curbs. And what that does is that puts snow into the parkways and residents' driveways. Again, snow at the ends of the driveways are unavoidable. We understand your frustration when this occurs, and we appreciate your patience and cooperation as we work around the clock to provide the highest level of service while keeping the roads clear and safe. We have also been receiving a few phone calls about damage done from the snow plows. Any damage done to the residents' parkways and or front lawns or landscaping will be addressed and repaired in the spring. Also, any mailboxes that have been damaged or knocked over will be repaired in the spring, while a temporary mailbox will be put in place until the repairs are made. If you have damage done to your property, please document the damage and call the village hall at your earliest convenience to report it. Finally, I want to remind residents that the village is still taking applications for the senior apron snow plow removal program. And we have extended the deadline until the end of the year for the applications to be turned in. This is a great service we provide for our senior citizens. And what this program does is after 4 inches or more of snowfall, after the streets are all cleared, after that snow has been pushed back onto your driveway, Public Works will come around and clear the apron of your driveway. You guys have good access to come in and out. That's my report. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Deputy Chair. Any other department reports?
Sure. First, thank you for all the support for the recent events. That does take an emotional toll on all the firefighters who, despite best efforts, everything working against us, it's a tough spot to be in, and we thank you for that support. Well, I can't comment on the specifics of the fires because, as the mayor stated, there's an active investigation. Each one did present its challenges, and one thing that everyone could do is, when they start small, call 911. Call 911 right away. It gives us a better chance at success. We will be putting out some fire safety tips via our social media and websites in the coming days and weeks. We do have plans also for a Citizens Fire Academy to be starting in March. That'll meet weekly. Hopefully you don't have me as an instructor because I can go on for hours about fire behavior and safety. So we do have those things in the works. And we continue to review for training purposes those recent events. On a more lighter, positive note, we did complete our food and toy drive collections on Saturday. We were out around 9 a.m. went through the town a couple times, and overwhelming support for that with the donations. They've been sorted, and I'm happy to report that we have found 9 families in need in town that we will be arranging to make deliveries to. And any surplus, we've got arrangements with the Nellie Prather Foundation. And then lastly, Christmas Eve, Santa Parade, still a go, 2 p.m. Starting from the eastmost part of town on Harper all the way through the west side.
Okay. Any other departmental reports? Chief?
Good evening. Good evening, guests, residents. I'd like to just briefly skim over the report that was included in the packet, then follow up on a question that was presented a couple of meetings ago. During the month of December, Glenwood Police, we responded to 602 calls for service. The majority of those were for traffic stops, assist the fire department, alarm calls, and speak to an officer. December, we also participated in a few community events, such as our monthly lunch with the first responders at Brookwood Junior High. This is a monthly meeting in which the Glenwood officers and firefighters have an informal lunch and conversation with students to help build positive relations with our area youth, local law enforcement, and first responders and firefighters. I also had the privilege of giving a presentation at Brookwood Middle School. I was invited to speak to students and parents about at a Real Men Read event. This was there to help promote the benefits of reading and education, as well as to provide lessons on leadership from different perspectives. In keeping with tradition in the holiday season, the Glenwood Police Department participated in the South Suburban Association of Chiefs of Police annual Shop with a Cop event. Students chosen by the Brookwood District to the Walmart and Country Hills for a great day of giving them early Christmas, some deserving students. Provided seasonal specific tips regarding winter home safety and holiday shopping tips related to crime prevention at our neighborhood meetings and our social media pages. Animal Control Officer Colwell also provided cold weather safety tips for pets on our social media pages. During the month of November, there were numerous arrests. The majority of those for traffic offenses. There were some retail thefts, some domestics, a couple of DUIs, one weapons offense, and a couple of driving while without good license, no insurance, things of that nature. Our officers in this summer received training in crime scene response and active shooter training. Our officers also received training on the topics of racial profiling, implicit bias, and cultural competency. I attended the monthly PSAC meeting, which is where I meet with Representative DeLuca, Public Safety Advisory Committee. We discussed legislative efforts to reduce juvenile recidivism and provide resources and services to at-risk youth. As I stated before, I would like to hit on or address a question that was brought up a few board meetings ago by residents regarding the hiring of police officers and part-time officers. All hiring of full-time police officers and firefighters is done by the Glenwood Police and Fire Commission. The Glenwood Police Department does not hire any full-time police officers. I don't have the authority to hire or fire any of them. Hiring process for entry full-time police officers and firefighters is regulated by statute and the Police and Fire Commissioners regulations, specifically Illinois compiled statutes, which states that all applicants for the position of either police or fire shall be under the age of 35 years old. And they shall be subject to an examination that shall be open to the public, competitive, and open to all applicants. Shall subject the reasonable limitations to residents' health, habits, and moral character. With respect to the police department, a veteran shall be allowed to exceed the maximum age by 10 years if they have the equivalent of 10 years of active duty. This is designed to ensure that the hiring process is open to all qualified applicants. It's fair, competitive, prevents any favoritism, nepotism, and is transparent. To ensure that we are compliant, our Police and Fire Commission use an outside testing agent, Cops and Fire Testing Services. The process is as follows. A test is announced, made public through a variety of advertising such as the Blue Line job site, Indeed, social media, flyers, etc. The test state and application process is administered by that outside agency, and all application and packets are sent to that agency by a set date and are reviewed for accuracy and completeness complete list, such as copies of diplomas, GEDs, birth certificates, driver's license, et cetera. Again, that's done by the outside testing service that is contracted by our Police and Fire Commission. Candidates then participate in mandatory orientation, then take a written examination, again, administered and proctored by that outside agency to keep it fair so we don't have our hands in it at all. The applicants who pass that move on to a written, or I'm sorry, who pass the written will move on to an oral examination. After the written oral exam, the third-party testing agency forwards the results to our Police and Fire Commission. They then determine if any of the applicants have any extra preference points, such as military, veteran points, or educational preference points. Once that score is calculated, a final eligibility list is made public with the top scoring candidate number 1 on the list, and so on and so forth in descending order. Next, the candidate must pass a comprehensive background check conducted by our Glenwood investigators, including a psychological exam, polygraph exam, and a physical examination and drug screening is conducted. The results of that background are sealed and provided to the Police and Fire Commission, not to me. Again, I don't have any input in this process. The Police and Fire Commission, then they determine if the candidate's background is acceptable or not the police department. If they do pass all this, they are offered employment and then scheduled to attend police academy, which is approximately 4 months long. Again, this is all overseen by the Police and Fire Commission. For officers who are already fully certified as full-time sworn police officers, there is a statute that allows the Board of Police and Fire Commissioners to waive portions of the required examination for police applicants who have previously been full-time sworn for a minimum of 2 years service. And there is no exception for part-time certified officers in the law nor in our CBA. This is set by statute. There was a question whether this was something that was covered or forbidden by our contract with the police officers. That's not. The only thing our contract requires is that previously certified full-time sworn law enforcement staff is completed a probationary period at one or more police agencies. So it's not the contract, it's Illinois statute that requires 2 years minimum full-time service. So the question or concept of hiring certified police officers has been brought up. If they want to do it, they must go through the aforementioned process, the testing process, just like any other candidate, at which time, should they pass everything, the Police and Fire Commission can skip positions if there is a need and go straight to those those certified part-time officers. We would then apply to the Training and Standards Board to get them a waiver to attend what's called the part-time to full-time conversion academy, which is in Belleville, Illinois. It's about a month long, with 2 weeks being residential, and it's about a $2,000 course. But they have to be given a waiver, which is overseen by the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board. So we can't just take someone who's a certified part-time officer and swear them in as a full-time officer. That has to be done by the Training and Standards Board. We are open to changes to this procedure. However, in my opinion, any changes to the current procedures and ordinances need to be considered by the Police and Fire Commission. I would certainly have any changes overseen by their attorneys as well as the village attorneys to ensure that we're not opening ourselves up to any liability regarding the hiring process. Again, any changes like that is started out by the Police and Fire Commission. But even though we are down some officers now, we have not reduced our staffing on the street level at all. The same number of officers are on the streets. And just like most other towns around here, we belong to what's called ILEAS, Illinois Law Enforcement Emergency Alarm System, very similar to MABUS. This was started in 2002 after the September 11th attacks. So that if there's ever a situation where we're beyond our capabilities, whether it's manpower, whether we need canines, drones, ATVs, horses, additional officers, whatever we need, all we have to do is activate that ILEAS alarm and we will get it through our dispatch. So again, reiterate, Glenwood is a safe community. We're not immune to crime, but the majority of our crime are minor offenses, traffic offenses. There is something, it's normally an interpersonal conflict between parties that are known to each other. It's not random. Last year, we were at about 9,000 calls for service. This year, we're at about 8,000. So we're down there. And again, it's overall a great community, and crime is something that we address on a regular basis. Obviously, that's our job, but there's nothing pressing that we can't handle. And so that concludes my report. Thank you.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
I don't think that we have seriously talked about if ICE comes to our neighborhood or not at random, pulling people out, however they're doing, like on the news. What system do you have in place?
We have
To
a
combat
policy
that.
that directs our officers, which is in accordance with the law and the Trust Act. So while they are federal officers, they are officers. We cannot stop them from conducting their activity, but we won't participate in their activity as well. If there's a call for service where we need to help keep the peace, we can, but we will not take any enforcement activity, that is forbidden by Illinois statutes. Our officers get training on this on a regular basis, and it's in our policies. So and they all know if this were to happen, they were to contact me so I can make notifications to the board as well.
So what you're saying is, well, let me ask it in a different way. So if ICE comes here and they start pulling people out of cars or pulling people out of houses, however they do, what do you all do? You don't interfere with them at all? You kind of just stand there and watch them beat up people? For lack of a better term, just beat up people. I'm asking just because I just want to know.
But we cannot interfere with their operations.
Thank you, Chief Petticore, for reporting and addressing the questions from a previous board meeting. I appreciate it, and I do appreciate the work that you and your team do on behalf of keeping Glenwood community safe.
Thank you.
Any other department reports? Jansen, did you have anything to add? You don't have to make up anything.
Not at this time. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any new business?
I have a couple.
We'll let Trustee Rowe.
Okay. Just out of curiosity.
I'm sorry.
Any reason that our insurance broker didn't come to the meeting tonight?
They offered to. I didn't, given that the policy changes, or there were no changes to the policy itself, and the increases were relatively small, I didn't feel the need to have them come do a full presentation for everybody. But yeah, that's it.
Thank you. There is I don't know who this is addressed to, so whomever it is, just let me know. I had a resident complain about expired food at the Tornado little thing up there, like 6 months. She gave me an example of cornmeal that was 6 months old. She brought it to the owner, whomever was behind the counter, and they asked her how much did she want as a discount for it. She went back the next day and the cornmeal was still there, expired. My question is, what do we do about expired food at one of our local, I wouldn't call it a grocery store, but one of our local places that sells food? Because that could be a major concern. That's just cornmeal, but who knows whatever else is expired in that particular place. Can somebody look into that, possibly?
Yeah, the fire department does the health inspections. We do quarterly health inspections, and we do from time to time come across expired, but not that far expired products, and they're discarded on site in front of the inspector. Typically,
What would you?
it could be a supplier issue where their stock rotated. Can't say every time, but if there is a situation like that, they can contact the fire department to do an investigative inspection.
Well, I just told you.
Okay.
So I'm contacting the fire department
Got it.
to ask you, can you do some kind of inspection?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
We follow up on any complaints with the Cook County Department of Public Health, and we
And
take.
Trustee Brown, it'll also be helpful You educated the resident that they too can call directly the building inspection department for them to follow up and get back with the.
I absolutely will.
Okay.
Here's another one. There's another complaint. This was from last year also into this year, because I had a concern about this. At the gas station in Glenwood, their cigarettes are tax stamped in different states. They're not tax stamped in Illinois. So that means that we're losing money because they're tax stamped to a state that charges less. I don't think, I know that's illegal because I used to work for RJ Reynolds Tobacco Company. And that's a issue. How do we address that? I remember, yeah. What happened when you did it before? Like, was it shut down? Did ATF come?
We know that they do this at the risk of being caught. There are options if we want to pull the business license. Address that.
Thank you. I got two more. Can we get, I don't know if I've asked you this before, but is it possible to get an animal, whenever you do your reporting, to get an animal control report? Just something on the books, okay? And the last question is, I'm just curious. You know, we talk about One Glenwood, which is great if we do that. My question to the village administrator and/or the mayor would be, on our Christmas flyer, the holiday party that we had yesterday or last night, we stated all of the homeowners associations, but we also have condo association. Why weren't all the associations listed on the flyer? That's one, because I believe that if I lived in a condo, I feel left out. Or is it because legally we could not list that?
No, it's because the homeowners associations got together and decided to have a joint community Christmas party.
Okay, well, the force did not,
You're not a home association.
okay, so, well, to be honest with you, none of the HOAs, to my knowledge, are legal HOAs. I thought the condo associations, that's not true?
That's not true. That is not true.
Okay, so only the 3 homeowners associations, I guess all of them are legal, was able to have a holiday party. So then that means the forest, even though our names were on there, that means that we didn't qualify to.
Qualify to do what?
Well, you said all the homeowners association got together and decided to have a holiday party.
Trustee Brown, if that's a question that if you want to take up with the HOA presidents, that under the umbrella of the homeowners associations, that they have an annual Christmas party for each of the HOAs. And if they decided that as a part of a community event to host a joint community Christmas party,
I thought it was your,
one was welcome.
well, I didn't know whose idea it was. I thought it was your idea.
Well,
And
you should have asked that question instead of making an assumption.
well, our names were on the flyer. You just said that the forest was not a homeowners association,
And it
yet
did-
the forest was on the
Trustee
flyer.
Brown, out of
Point of
order. Next, out of order.
How is that out of order?
No, I said point of order.
In order.
I'm asking a question.
Question
How
asked
is
and
that out
answered.
of
It's
order?
asked and answered. We won't debate it on the floor. We'll move on. Anything else you want to address?
Well, I don't think that was a debate, but I'll wait till old business comes.
Any other new business? Old business?
Okay, I guess I'm the one that's going to do old business too. Have you gotten a chance to speak with the village administrator about the app that we talked about the cell phones?
No, I did not. It fell to the bottom of my priority list.
Okay, you want me to remind you or?
I do not need you to remind me. I will address that with the village administrator, and the priority is required.
That was very nice of you. Okay, so the last question would be, Brian, I asked this before and I guess that wasn't a priority either. My question is about the signs. If it was last year and we had 6 new mayoral signs, I would have asked the same question. How much are the signs? And what
Trustee-
budget did it, what come
Trustee
out of?
Brown, if you go back to the previous, when you asked that question, it was asked and answered, and it also was posted on the actual agenda, the question you asked regarding the signs, and it was also written. It was asked and answered. So if you want to go back and review, when you asked the question previously, we did respond at the next board.
Your response was, I'll get back to you on that.
And on the following board meeting, it was on the agenda. The amount was $3,000 and it was recorded and on. So please go back and check the board meeting.
3,000 apiece?
No, total for the signs.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other old business? No other old business open to the public for any questions? Anything that you may have at this time. 3 minutes and the clerk will time you.
Melinda Plow, 423 West Arquilla. The event yesterday was fabulous. The homeowners association presidents and officers got together and paid to finance the event. And the decorations that were paid for by the estate's president was reimbursed yesterday by each of the homeowners associations. It was worthwhile, it was wonderful. Our homeowner association will be 20 years old, and I have a document from the state of Illinois with our EIN number that states that we are a not-for-profit organization. And you can't get a bank account without the EIN number. I think Mr. Plott recommended that the two of you talk so that you can get to that point of developing a homeowners association. But those things had to be in place in order to have a bank account. But the event was wonderful. It was a great time. People getting together. The planning was done just remarkably well. And I was pleased to be a part of it, part of the planning, working with the other homeowners association. I thank you for letting us do that. And most of the people there said they wanted to be an annual event from now on, and I agree. I have a question about the water department since I'm up here. Water fund. With that $800,000 coming out, is that going to make us a little bit, is it risky for any water main breaks that might occur during this time for the next couple of months? We might get a reimbursement in January, but seeing a large part is coming out of the water fund. Are you concerned about that?
No, there's no concern regarding the water sewer fund account balance. That $800 and 45,607. That was accumulation of all other bills. 135 thousand was our water bill. And so that 85 total included the levy, the water bill, and then other charges, miscellaneous charges that was charged to the water account fund. But no, there's no concern regarding any work going forward that would need to be charged to the water and sewer account.
Okay, thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
then for any of the 9 families listing, if they live in the manor, let us know, because out of the generosity of the village, we still have funds that we would like to help the community. We've been using those funds in a deliberate way, and if there are families that are in need during this time, let us know, especially from the manor. Thank you.
Tony, again, our fellow. First of all, I want to thank you, because in my mind, we will never have development on Main as long as the trucks are rolling through there like they're on the expressway. And I know it might take time to correct this, and we're up against IDOT, but if you need another committee or whatever of citizens, if we need to sign petition, whatever it is we need to do to lessen that traffic, anybody that's at all knows that this traffic has really increased with the trucks. They're speeding. When they come around that corner with Glenwood Oaks, it's amazing there has been no fatalities on that corner. It's amazing. Second of all, Chief Welsh, I want to suggest a joint, or we could say a city event in the firehouse where we can line up some chairs and discuss fire safety, fire prevention. I'm going to invite you to our next homeowners association meeting to discuss this. We've had more fires than normal, and sometimes it's just a simple thing, a filter's being changed, or the screen and the dryer being maintained. So we want you to come on the 8th. The first is New Year's Day, the first Thursday of the month. So I'll be contacting you on that. Maybe we can have a more extensive, not only in the homeowners, but something in the firehouse, whereas the whole city can come and maybe learn some more about fire prevention. The other thing I wanted to mention was I have always contacted new presidents to the homeowners, any potential new organizations. I've always offered my time to discuss bylaws, to discuss what you need to start a homeowners. And Trustee Brown, I got not one phone call from you. So, we're here to help in the forest. I was a trustee when we made that field house over there, and we fixed that park over there. So we're well aware of what's happening in the forest, and so we're always here to help you. So I was really trying to ascertain that really what was your problem with the party. The party was wonderful. It was well attended. Okay, all right, well,
Mr. Plott, I do not want to revisit, those questions was asked and answered.
All right, well, I just want to answer one thing for you. We've always opened ourselves up to the condominium. We've always done.
I have met with all of the condo association presidents to extend an invitation. Also said for all residents, if I recall correctly, I don't want to get ahead of my ski, but it also said condo, renter, all residents and alike. We have a trustee who's president of condo association who shares information with the condo association. I don't think that there needs to be any further explanation regarding to hosting a community event.
I appreciate that.
Action answer.
You know me well, because you knew I was coming up here to be upset about that.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. 2025, it has been an exciting year and it has been a challenging year. First, I want to offer my thanks to Mayor Talita Hart for coming in, hitting the ground running, faced with many challenges, but determined to do the best to push our village forward. I'm thankful for that. I want to also express my thanks. We have much to do, and it's going to take everyone to get it done. I believe Glenwood could be whatever we choose it to be because we have the people in this town who can do it. I want to express my thanks to the events committee. You all did a wonderful job this year, whether we're talking about Juneteenth, or the 4th of July parade. You all did an outstanding job. The homeowners associations, the mayor, the trustees, on last night's event, which was really great. Neighbors got a chance to meet each other, got a chance to connect them to the homeowners associations. That's a great start, and I'm thankful. There's much to do, but there's so many great things that are going on. My next concern, the Gazette. I talked to J.R. Patton last month after going on that Gazette, and I noticed several things that need to be taken care of in terms of diversity for the community in which it serves, old information. I also went on and I studied the packet that you all put on regarding tax delinquent properties, and I'm hoping for the new year we can discuss how residents can benefit and what can be done, because the way it's set up right now, even with my business law classes, I went through it 3 different times, and it will be difficult for just the average resident to be able to understand and take advantage of it. The next thing I ask that you would do, I know I said over and over, it's difficult to hear in this room. Sometimes when I'm on YouTube, I'm straining because even though we have the microphones, it's very important that you speak into the microphones as well so people can hear you. And lastly, before I'm done, ding dong, I just want to encourage everyone here. There's a lot of work to do. And one of the things I've said too throughout the years, people in this town can have disagreements, but when something comes up and people are needed, Glenwood come together. They've done a great job in the past week or two, this past month. The police have had challenges. The firemen have had challenges. I keep all of you all in my thoughts and prayers, and I trust that you all have a great year. Come back next month. I'm glad we are not having any more coffee and conversations because Mayor Hart needs to take a break, get some rest, and everyone else too. Come back next year and let's move forward getting Glenwood where it should be. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a tough one to follow there, Dr. Birmingham. Thank you. Darius Jones, 941 East, 941 East, 194th Street. I just want to give a suggestion in regards to old business. I believe the last meeting we spoke about figuring out ways to attract businesses to the village. I'm an avid AM radio listener, and I noticed that there's villages advertising on AM radio. You got Melrose Park, Bolingbrook, Naperville, even Matson recently. So I'm not sure of the results, but maybe that's something we could look into using radio ad dollars. Once again, it's just a suggestion, but thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? No other public comments? Ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, clerk. Call the roll.
Trustee Hadnot,
Yes, Merry Christmas.
Trustee Rowe, Trustee Taylor, Trustee Williams,
Merry Christmas to everyone here.
Yes.
what's your vote?
Yes.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Mosley.
Yes.
Thank you all for coming out and have a joyous holiday season. I apologize in advance for my lies.